Hey parents, just wanted to connect with you a little bit. Just had a couple questions, a couple things to go over. Um, as you guys had kids, and as you've had this last little one, have you ever wondered, what have I gotten myself into? How did this happen? How did life all of a sudden get to this point? So whether it's your first kid, maybe it's your second kid, third, fourth, 10th, I don't know where you're at and what stage of life you're at. This is going to reach multiple different people. But I just wanted to encourage you on a couple things. One is the thing that you've gotten yourself into is a relationship, and a relationship with a little human being, a tiny baby. Um, some of you are further along in the stages of life with this child already, so maybe they're already a year, maybe they're a couple years old, maybe they're brand new and a newborn. Um, and sometimes, like I know for me, when we had ours little ones, I often thought to myself, what am I doing, and am I doing it right? Um, and I just want to encourage you that there is no right or wrong. The one thing that I want to give you today is when you think about your relationship with your kid, you're going to hear all this information. You're going to hear some things like you need to make sure you do it this way, you need to make sure you do it that way. Um, and there's just all these things that go with it. So, just little things like what are you feeding them? How are they sleeping? What are they a belly sleeper? Are they a back sleeper? All the different things. You're going to start having some rules that are going to be coming along. You're going to be setting different patterns and different schedules with your child. And the one thing that we've kind of gone back and forth that we come back to is what I'm doing really, does it matter? Like, am I making a difference for my kid? And here's what I want to encourage you with. The most important thing that you can do with your child is to be there. Sometimes we get lost in am I making sure that they're doing the right thing? Am I making sure that I'm doing the right thing? Am I parenting them the way that I should? Um, you know, what am I doing? Am I going to make a giant impact on my kid? And I know for us, I know for me and my wife, sometimes just making it through the week, that was a win. And you know what, for you, maybe that's a win. But I do want to encourage you that that is probably the most important thing that you can do is just to be present. Um, that's what they need. That's what they need from you from right now, because they are literally, if they're tiny babies, they depend on you. But as they get older, is they just need you in their life. Um, we use Orange curriculum here, and they talk about partnership between churches and parents and do some things like that. But the one thing that I like that they show is that there is you have approximately 936 weeks with your child. So if you like visuals, I don't have one right here in front of me, but I would encourage you to find a jar, take a jar, um, find 936 something, whether it's marbles or maybe it's little pom pom things, throw those in there, and then take one out every week. That 936 represents the time from birth until graduation, roughly. It end of 18 years. Um, and you'll see pretty quickly how fast that time goes, how quickly the marble level, I don't use marbles as my example, the marble will start to go down. And what you'll kind of look back on is not how often did you do the big things. You want to train your child in the way they go, and you want to have those important conversations, and we want to do all those things. But pretty soon you realize, is like, was I even there? This little marble that I have from my jar, was I truly present during that time? So I encourage you, if you get a representation like that, find something. If you need me to help you with something like that, take that time and do that, because the importance of being there for your kid, I just can't stress that enough. That the life lessons that we want to teach them, those are great, and we need to do those. But sometimes we aim too high and we forget to just be present. Play games, sit with them, hold them, cry with them, laugh with them. Um, that's what your child needs. They need you. They need your love. That's the biggest thing that we can do with them. Just a couple other things. Somebody asked this question: will my life ever be the same again? No, no, your life will never be the same again. Whether it's your first one, your 10th one, nothing will ever be the same, nor should it. God has blessed you with this child, and we're lucky to have him. But again, just spending that time is going to be huge. One thing that I want to talk a little bit more about is just the goals of us here at Grace. So we think, going back to that illustration of 936 weeks, we think here at Grace that the best way for a parent and the church to disciple a kid is not through what the church does, but by what happens at home. This comes straight out of Deuteronomy 6. When Moses was challenging the community that they had to Deuteronomy 6:5 says, loves your Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and all your strength. He was telling parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents and everybody in the community that it is their responsibility to pass on that faith to others. So being present, maybe that's how you're going to show what Deuteronomy 6 is showing or asking us to do, is just being there. Maybe that's what we're doing, and showing them the ways, prayer or our faith in a daily walk. It's not so much like all the big lessons, but just being there daily for them, and what we want to do. So there will be times where it'll be easier, and there will be times where it's going to be harder. But showing them that love and that affection every day is huge. So part of our goal here at Grace is to help support you and help to continue to be there for you. We do not want to parent your child. That is not what we feel is our responsibility. We want to partner with you so that you can best parent your child. So a couple goals that we have in the family life area. One is that we want to have a strategic plan that follows a kid from 0 up until 18 years old. We want a student or a child to have authentic faith. We want them to be able to understand and have a true relationship with Christ by the time that they graduate out of our kids ministry and student ministry. So from kids, we talk about the biblical basics, the basic stories. We do some topics, but we do some basic memorization of verses. Junior high area, now we're digging in a little bit deeper. Right now we're having more conversations. Now we're talking about what does it mean to have faith. And by the time they get to 9th to 12th grade, now we're talking about that true faith, that true relationship that we're going to have with Christ. And how does that look for them? So the other part that we want to do is have authentic community. We want a student to be able to find another person, another adult, another group of friends, whoever it is, to convey their faith with outside of their parents. And so we want a student to be able to no longer ride the coattails of their parents' faith, but to say, hey, this is my faith. This is what I believe, and this is why I believe it. So as one of our goals is to help partner and make sure that's something that occurs here at Grace through small groups. So we set up small groups in the kids area just to get that feel and let them be able to feel what that is like. Then it continues in the junior high area, and then in the high school environment, this is where they're getting down. They're having those conversations. They're really connecting with a leader to be able to continue to grow and be able to really understand what their faith looks like from there. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to go over with you. I want to encourage you, be there for your child. You're going to miss some things. You're going to hit some of the things on the head. But loving them and being there is the best thing that you can do.